Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Bill. How are you, sir?
I'm pretty good actually. I've had a weird health week where my I've just felt way down halfway through an afternoon and just like want to hop in bed and then really great certain mornings. It's just been a weird health week for me. So
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know what's been going on. How
Do you
about you?
need do you need like sugar and a cookie or something like that in that kind of mid-afternoon thing?
No, it's an actual I'm fighting something off sort of thing.
Oh,
And kind of one of these weeks fighting.
yeah.
So no, it's definitely congestion. You might be able to hear it and stomach
Yeah,
issues
okay.
yesterday. So speaking of like Zoom, right? You've got Zoom
hmm
calls. They're scheduled,
Good
right?
morning, Chandra.
Hey
Yes.
Chandra. And then, you know, and it's important that especially when you're running calls that you're there. I mean, I think.
Yeah, normally, yeah, yeah.
So
It's kind of
especially if
important.
there's
Yeah.
a group of people waiting for you or whatnot.
Yeah.
And shit, can you have to use the bathroom or something? It is like the biggest moment of panic in your life because it's like
Oh,
30
yeah.
seconds before you're supposed to go to meet all these people and you're not feeling good and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? Where are my choices? Like, do I tell these people what's going on so that they don't think I'm rude? Or like it's been one of those weeks, John. It's been problems that you don't normally deal with, like just across the board for me.
Man, I think we have a new rep for Sales Practice Lab.
Cameras off, y'all.
Yeah, yeah, cameras off. He ate some bad Mexican food at lunch. And
Kids went back to school. They brought a bug back to the house. You know, That's it's
uh
the life of at least at work you can just like disappear. You're like, check, getting up
yeah,
from my seat. Like,
yeah. Yeah, so your body gets used to what it gets used to, right? And it like I was this might be a TMI, but I was never the guy who needed to do that anywhere else other than home,
yeah.
right? So like wasn't really ever known for being the guy who did that at work and everything else like that. But now that like I work from home, my body's adjusted. So like it's just like, hey, we got to go, you know. And so yesterday I had 3.5 hours of Zoom calls like stacked up, and before the first one, I was like, I should pee. I should really,
Yeah.
I should really pee,
Yeah.
kind of thing, because
Yeah.
it was just like this is going to be the next 3.5 hours,
Right.
and so I didn't, and then after 2 hours, I'm kind of like hopping. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then hopped into the next Zoom, and the person was like running just like a few minutes late, so I was able to kind of go over there and do that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's that I've not had that experience of what you're talking about. That
It was new for me.
yeah, I get that.
It's just one of those weeks.
I get
So
that.
yeah.
Oh man, what a shirt you have on today. Is that a pearl snap shirt?
Oh yeah, it is. Let's see if I can get it.
Man, I love a good pearl snap. I saw an
Yeah.
ad in my feed the other day for different pearl snaps, and I was like, it's been a while since I rocked one of those. But
This is even better because it is a thrift store pearl snap find.
ooh, nice.
So for some reason that feels better in my head. Like
That's
it's
fair.
genuine. It's
Yeah,
not just
it's legit. Yeah,
yeah.
it's not
I can get a hot topic.
retroized.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
and get the new version. So
I have some. Good morning, Michelle. I have two actually, and there's this place down in Austin, and this guy like embroiders different things on different kinds of shirts and stuff like that. But he goes and thrifts them all and everything. So I have a pearl snap shirt that has got David Bowie embroidered like right
oh,
here on both sides,
holy
right?
cow.
Oh, it's magnificent. I'll wear it. I might wear it tomorrow, actually.
You
Now that
should.
right, and then I have another one that's all brown, and it's got these Sasquatches that are embroidered like right here on the chest panels.
Also amazing.
I
Yeah.
have yeah, I have both of them, and like every time I'm like looking through the closet, I'm like, yeah, and then I'm like, no one else is gonna enjoy this other than me, so I'm just gonna
You never
wait.
know though, right? Because like the first day we came back on the podcast, I had a Dobby coffee mug, and I was
Yeah.
like, "There's very few people that are going to appreciate this." It's just not
Mhm.
gonna. And it's black with white writing, so it's even kind of hard to read.
Yeah.
And then first day we were like, "Here," somebody goes, "I love your Dobby mug." So like, okay, there you go. That's why you just do what you do, right? And then the people that appreciate it will.
Yes, absolutely.
Hmm.
But Yeah, I'm gonna rotate those in, knowing that you're a fan.
Oh
So
gosh, yes.
be ready. Be ready. It's gonna blow your mind.
Great. Love it.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
super happy now.
Talk about a power shirt. That's a power shirt right there.
I can't believe I hadn't seen them yet. That's
I mean,
you haven't broken those out somewhere.
yeah, this is so weird because like being the guy who worked in web, it was totally acceptable to wear a t-shirt,
Yeah.
right? Like it was almost expected, you know. And so there for a while I did the Fort Worth uniform thing, the long sleeve button up and jeans, right? When I
Right.
was out networking and doing my stuff. Launching your own merch, that is rad, dude.
Dude,
I
I'm
have a
here for some Stream Tornado merch. Seriously.
for real. I would rock that shirt. I'd rock that hat for
Yes.
real.
Yes. Count us in as your
Yeah.
customer, Gabe.
I have a brand. I have a clothing brand I want to launch eventually. It's a little lower down on the priority list. You and I have talked about it.
Yeah, that's right.
But now I have a name for it. I'm not going to say it on here because I don't want any industrious person to like go out and grab it before I am ready to launch this whole thing. But it's gonna it's gonna be rad whenever I figure out what the hell it is I'm doing over there with that thing.
Yeah.
But
well, it's those shirts that you're talking about. I think it's funny because sometimes we treat them like a Ferrari that sits in the garage, and it's like,
oh man, I am the worst about that.
See this? Oh my gosh, this thing is amazing. But then it's raining. It might rain today, so I can't take it out. You know.
Yeah, that's how I am with my shoes. Like Alice, I used to do parent walk up, and we're moving back to that because like the school's weird this year, but whatever. And so I would literally wear like a pair of shoes, like a pair of Jordans or a pair of like limited edition Vans or something like this, and then I would check the weather before I would go up and get her. And if there was a cloud in the sky, I'm like, you know what, we're gonna have to detour, you know. And so I would swing by the house on the way to pick her up, change my shoes, that way I could go stand in the mud field or dirt field with all the other parents. But yeah, I do the same thing with shirts as well. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna save this one, you know, and then I'll kind of
special occasion.
Yeah, special occasion for a Pearl Snap shirt from like a high end thrift store with some embroidery on it. It's a unique shirt that's not going to fit in many places anyway. Probably
it is. That's a guest Friday type shirt, you know.
Yes, exactly right. Yeah, so if we ever have David Bowie on the show, it's going to be difficult to do.
If that happens, a lot of things are going to change.
Yeah.
Not just your shirt, my friend.
Yeah, you know. And on the other side of it, if we ever have Sasquatch on the show, you know, it's like I'll rock that shirt for him.
I don't know what more things would change in our life if Sasquatch appeared or if David Bowie appeared. That would be bigger for us.
Yeah. Who do you guys want to see?
Vote. Yeah, in the comments. Let us know, y'all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man,
they're about equally as likely to come on the show.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. I agree.
Well, Gabe, let us know, man. I don't know if you were here, Gabe, when I told John the other day that I like the hat that you sport all the time. So I don't know if that's part of your merch. It's pretty sweet, but if you put the link over there if you got it rolling already. Oh, he says launching though, so it's probably
launching. Yeah, it's probably not ready yet. That's okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, movement is momentum. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion because things that rest tend to stay at rest. So taking massive action, moving forward. Yes.
Yeah, very sciencey.
How was yesterday, buddy?
It was good. So I told you off air when we got done that I'm rebooting my website. And
yes, you did.
Speaking of motion, some people thought it was crazy. Honestly, I told a couple people this yesterday. John was not one of those people, and but I literally changed the top half of my website and hit publish. I did not change the bottom half of my website homepage because it wasn't like horribly disjointed. But there's a lot of people that would spend 2 weeks, a month. John even might himself on his own work not do that, but I'm okay with progress as long as it's not like stupid, you know.
Man, I'm so uncomfortable for you. I know the direction that you're going in with the website and stuff, and so I understand that it's probably not the biggest, hugest kind of transition and stuff. But yeah, I would absolutely go through like the steps and the stages and the process, and you know, everyone is, you know, bought in, and
But I literally though am. I just needed it for the reason that I needed to get in motion, and I knew if I did that, that would put like an open loop in my head that goes, "Oh, there's that bottom half just sitting there." And so it's a trap essentially for myself.
I can see that. That makes sense. Yeah. Man, the thing that would trap me into like finishing that thing is something so completely different
Yeah.
than just like doing it and hitting publish and then being like, that's gonna make me come back to it. Oh god, man.
I can't imagine a lot more pain for me than to leave something public facing about my business unfinished. Like, to me, that
No,
sounds
I know. Yeah,
really
like
painful. So I'm
yeah.
like, yeah, let's go. Let's go. So I'm finishing it today because I did that
Okay.
yesterday. So today I'm gonna go back and hit the bottom half and then send a draft over to John to take a look at as well. So
Yep.
yeah. Plus I have my weekly coaching cohort this week with my other coach friends, and it
Nice.
was an assignment. So what's funny
Oh.
is it's been an assignment for a month and I haven't touched it. So that's what it took for me to get there.
Yes.
It's okay, well, fine. Like, I'm just gonna publish something, and now it'll happen.
It's almost like this is probably a bad metaphor, but it's almost like you're like, cool, like I'm gonna set half of this field on fire because that's gonna make me want to come mow the rest of this field, right? Like
Yeah,
after I put out that fire. But
yeah.
then I'll
Something
mow.
something will bring me back. I'll have to bring some water back. So I might as well bring a mower too.
Oh man. What an uncomfortable thing.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, so there it is. So if you know my website already, go look at it. You can go check out my mess, but I'm not going to publicly tell you the link right now.
just drop the link in the chat. No,
Yeah,
bro.
guys,
So,
go look at
yeah,
it. Hey,
if
you
you
know
know
what,
where it is, you know where to find it.
dude? Dude, here's how comfortable I am. Here goes. Ready?
Oh, are you gonna screen share?
Oh, I'm going to put it right there in the link
Oh my.
in the chat. There you go. If you want to go see it for 12 hours only, probably you'll get to see
12
a half of
hours
the
only.
website.
Look at that. That's funny.
So, yeah.
All right, so you'll be working on that today.
I will. Yeah. Yesterday I also did some. I had my biweekly with my boss, and
Yeah.
we got to have some really good conversation about direction, and we're bringing on new coaches already. And one of the big things that I wanted to do as something as like I mean, we've read Impact Players. I don't know if anybody has read Impact Player, but essentially it's like finding ways to make work light for others around you, and instead of doing the job in front of you, doing the job that needs to get done, that actually that would help things move forward, like some concepts like that, to be
Yeah.
a really good team player. And one of the things that I wanted to do to display that was to document my journey as I come on, so that future people who come in my position or similar would have like a
Yeah.
roadmap. Because they have a great onboarding program. It's just there's not like a roadmap to actually do the work that I'm
Okay.
supposed to be doing. So I've been spending a fair amount of time with that since I came on, and so we talked about that. So we had a great talk about that. Yeah, that was the major things yesterday. My undone website and my chat with my boss, who's amazing. She's awesome.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I had my morning time, which was, I'm still trying to move things over into ClickUp and out of Notion. So that was the majority of that yesterday. Had a good conversation with kind of a new manager, kind of a new leader, right? And they're in rare territory. That's really all I'm going to say too much about it, right? Like interesting dynamics, in charge, but maybe in name only, not in actual authority and ability to like do stuff. And so, we were kind of talking that through, and how she goes and has the conversations she needs on both sides of that thing, so that way she can be comfortable and do her thing well. So that was the one call yesterday. Had a call with our SEO coach. So kind of talked with him about his sales stuff, and then had a call with my newest one-to-one client, Jordan. Talked about it was so cool. We were going through, and I was like, okay, so what makes you different? What makes you different? What makes you different around a side hustle, which is photography? And it was one of those moments to where he said this and this and this, and I'm just over here writing on the whiteboard, and I was like, okay, what I'd like to do is recap, and I just kind of said it back to him with like a little bit of Socratic questioning and stuff like this, and he was like, man, this is so good. And I was like, dude, this is you. Like, these are your words with a little bit of wrapping to make it question driven and public facing, but like I didn't really do anything here. So that was kind of cool. Nice. Yeah. Nice moment. And he was like, man, like, you're just so good at this. And I was like, dude, this is a lot of reps. Like, this is all I do at this stage, right? I meet somebody new who does something that I've never heard of before. I immediately start thinking about messaging and positioning and questions and pains and probes and everything. Like, it's
I was in practice yesterday with Marcus. So we talk about, I actually have one of the situations I want to hear kind of what your thoughts are on. But
Mhm.
he said we got to about halfway through and we were kind of struggling to find the right question. And he's like, guys, you have to get to a spot where you don't think about the right answer. What is the best question right now? That's how you
Yeah.
have to live this. Like, what is the best question? Not what's the answer I want them to get to.
Yep.
Because that's where a lot of the stumbling and wrong framing comes in. So
Mhm.
that was really nice. That was really refreshing. So same. Marcus was like, it's all about the right question at the right time.
Yeah. Like, I used to have this shirt and it had a banjo on it, and it said, "The right song played at the right time can stop a war," which was
Mm,
like really great shirt. I have a photo of it on social somewhere. And I kind of feel like the same thing about a question, right? The right question diffuses the angry prospect, right? The person who feels like you're interrupting their day. It gets someone to open up and share the thing that they're concerned about, but they're hiding from you because they're here and they want to protect themselves from a salesperson. It is the right question gets that referral partner to really like turn and face you the right way and say, "Oh my God, that's what you do. I have so many people that I can send to you." And
right.
it's all about, in my opinion, the right question at the right time. So
Yeah, and I think it can always filter. It might always get you the
yeah,
outcome that you're looking for, but it will always get you the right filter.
for sure.
Move you the right direction. Which
And
is
if you're
why that
trying
book's
to,
so good, right? That book that we
yeah,
read.
if you're trying to be solutions focused, right? And maybe maybe this is something I need to be talking more about, but it's like if I have a meeting with somebody and they have something that I can't help with, cool. Like I just want to help move you in the right direction with like
Yeah,
that data orientation.
yeah,
But you really have to be solutions focused. Like I want to make sure you're set up for success. You might not need me. That's also okay. Can we have an open and honest conversation about what you're dealing with in sales and marketing? Might be able to help you. I might not. Either way is fine. If I can help you and you want help, I'm happy to make a referral introduction that I think could help you.
yeah,
Like, and that's
absolutely.
it. Like after that, it's just about bifurcating and bucketing, bifurcating and bucketing, bifurcating and bucketing. Like, do you want this? Do you want that? Which is more important? Why? All those things. But when you question deeply, you build trust. You don't have to deal with a reflection of this person doesn't know what I'm going through, so I need to go think this thing through. You become part of the process.
Yeah, okay, so I think this is a great spot actually to add that in, that conversation we had. So we were talking about client conversations, and one of the fellow coaches on the call that was being coached said, "Yeah, but when I do this to my husband, he goes, stop coaching me. I'm not interested in this right now.
Hmm.
Just tell me your opinion." Right? And she was like, "That's impossible." And he's like, "No, that means you're doing something wrong. That means that you have somehow
Yes, agreed.
done something." And he said, "It's always, always vanguarding." He said, "Vanguarding is always the reason things break down." And he said, "Here's why." But and the example he gave was like, "Hey, I'm dealing with this thing and it sucks. And what should I do?" And so he made us each say, "Okay, what would you say to your significant other in that situation?" And we were
Hmm.
kind of trying different things. And he's like, "Nope, nope, nope, you're leading. Nope, you're leading.
Yeah,
Nope, you're trying to solve already. Nope."
yeah,
The answer to that question is, I don't know. Should we talk about that?
yes. That's that. Man, it's the hardest concept to teach to people, right? Because the metaphor I use is probably bad, but like the one that I talk about is always there was this documentary I saw once, and there's like these little bitty cheetahs, right? Cheetahs or lions or tigers, like some kind of big cat, and they're uh, the guy who does all the voiceovers. I can't think of his name right now. Oh, Attenborough, and he's
Oh
over,
yeah,
yeah,
David
he's over there,
Attenborough.
and he goes the lions, and he's doing his thing. He's talking about it, and he's talking about how these lions don't know how to hunt yet, right? And because they're so young, they jump too early and they scare off the prey, right? Whereas the mom stalks, make sure that she's got a good jump, and then pounces,
Right.
and like half of it is waiting to pounce for the right time. Right. And like, I don't really love this as a metaphor, but it does kind of make sense, right? Someone shows up on a call and they're like, yeah, sure do wish I could grow. And the salesperson is like, oh my God, can I help you? Like,
Yeah.
you're, whoa. They
Yeah.
haven't even said that they want help with this thing. They're just kind of verbalizing out loud, kind of leaving you false bait. And salespeople then just like jump onto it for as much as they possibly can, as opposed to, oh, interesting. Help me understand what it from a specific
Yeah.
area, like
Yeah.
just all
Yeah.
over the place? Like, how long have you felt this way? And now we can begin to have a conversation about what they're really struggling with.
Yeah,
But
the phrase that I heard from a book recently, I can't remember which one it was, but is you want to be curious and generous. And so I like that phrasing
yeah,
too. Because curious is obvious, but generous is also like before anything, you want to be really helpful.
yeah.
And so I think when with that metaphor, as you're talking, I was thinking of like the snap traps, like we're hung from a tree where there's the loop that you have to step
Oh
in,
yeah. Hmm.
right? And so if you want to draw someone into that, you have to be very quiet and comfortable and like nothing's going on and keep walking.
Yeah.
Keep walking, keep walking. You can't be like, "Come on, here we go." Come on, like what? It's being weird. Why am I? What? So
Yes.
it's yeah, same idea, right? They have to be in the loop for the trap to work, even though it's not a trap.
Yeah.
But anytime before that, it's likely you're not. They're going to run away.
Yes. Right. Because you, in the way you were talking about curious and what? Curious and helpful?
Generous.
Generous. That's interesting. My coach had this line that he got from one of his coaches, and he talked about it all the time, and it's been beaten into me: curious, skeptical, unemotional.
Mm,
Right.
yeah, which is kind of the
And
opposite.
yeah, well, a
Not
little
not
bit,
exactly. You're not
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Because like skepticism, like I didn't like this for a very long time, and I was like, man, skepticism, like that kind of sounds like being jaded, not being able to take people at their whim. But really, it's about like slowing down as the
Yeah.
salesperson to
Yeah.
make sure that you're hearing the thing that you think you heard, right? And because man, every deal that I have ever screwed up is because I heard something that I held on to and they just kind of said in passing and they didn't really mean very much by it. And I didn't tie it down and
Mm,
qualify it fully. Right.
yeah.
John,
Yeah.
I'm at mostly a yes. Okay, great. I've got some people waiting. What kind of timeline makes sense to start? You just want to close me. They
Yeah.
had
Yeah.
forgotten they said that they were mostly a
Yes. They
yes.
tell me
You
about
know?
that mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like that skepticism is not like don't believe people, but it's kind of this idea that people will say things to you without really meaning them. So it's on you to probe a little bit deeper, make sure it's a real opportunity, that you're not just wasting steps and going along on like social niceties, right? So, you know, you have a great conversation with someone and they say, "Oh, this looks great." Like, don't say, "Okay, great. You want a proposal?" Like, what'd you like? Thanks for letting me know.
Yeah. So what I love, and you probably see this all the time, is because now I'm in the seat of doing the reps for the last 6 weeks, 8 weeks,
Hmm.
over and over, is seeing how much we assume
Oh man.
so many things in conversations. And when you watch someone else do it, you're like, he just went right past that. Why didn't he ask a
Yeah.
question there? But when you're in the seat, you don't always do it.
Yep.
Because and I think one of the guys was like, yeah, I think the best way I can figure this out for myself is to just think like a 6-year-old. Like if they say something like why, or not that word, but but
Yeah.
it's like but what do you mean? Like what does that mean? Well, what's that word? Well, why'd you
I
use that
mean,
word? It's like
so this is the thing that helps me with this idea. Most deals don't close.
right,
Okay. And so since most deals don't close, it's often common for most people to like not want to take the next step. So that way, whenever someone is very excited about it, you have room to ask.
right,
Like, like, okay, what makes you so excited? Don't just get
yeah,
excited that they're excited
yeah,
because you don't really have anything yet. You
right,
have to, okay, oh, this sounds so good. We really need this. Okay, thanks for letting me know why. Like, you gotta be that kind of not doubter, but you need to be able to slow yourself down as a salesperson to make sure that you're hearing the right things, that like you really have full understanding, and you're not just cherry picking. Well, they said yes. Okay, to what question? Well, they said it somewhere in the conversation, boss. I don't know where,
I
but they
heard it at
said
least
yes
twice,
someplace.
so I just
Exact.
went.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, follow up until they block you. Like that's not selling.
Are
That's
you the decision maker? Yes. Let's go.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So when you say that this is something that you're interested in fixing, yeah, and then they're like already like spending the
Done.
commission check and stuff. You
Lock
don't
it
have
down, baby.
anything yet.
That's
You
right.
don't have anything yet. You know. Yeah, there's a lot to that, right? Because that's why you have to go back and watch your calls, listen to your tapes. These kinds of things, because until you are going through it again in this kind of like coaching capacity, this remove capacity from it, you're not going to be able to see the assumptions you made in the call and the logic leaps you made and experience that like we do whenever, I'm watching someone else's calls,
Right.
That's why in Sales Lab, we try to have groups of 3. So that way we can have one prospect, one salesperson, and the other person is just outside of this kind of emotional event. And they're
Right.
just there to give the feedback. Right. Um, because being on the outside is completely different,
Yeah.
So,
Yep. For sure.
yeah. What do you got today, my friend?
So I have got, let's see, book club.
I'm jealous.
I know you are.
Just going to say it. Just jealous.
It's okay. It happens. Let's see. I've got an actual operations on board. It's part of what I'm doing to help vet some new space that we're creating inside of our squad and some things like that.
Okay.
We have a personal finance training course once a month from our whatchamacallit, our
CFO.
There you go. That's one. Our CFO holds that once a month. So this will be the first one around that
That's
I'm actually
fantastic.
here for. Yes, that's cool. So I'm going to do that. I've got a couple one-on-ones with my team. I've got my fantasy football draft. We have a fantasy football league at work. So my draft's this afternoon, and they're all East Coast. So 5:30 for them, which means 4:30 for me. So I get to quit early.
Yeah, nice.
So that'll be fun. And then I've got a stack of about 5 training calls. I'm actually really looking forward to, because this is a company that came in that was skeptical, that went through and had a call with a salesperson, and then a second call with a authority figure on where one of our coaches came on, and it stalled out for about 3 or 4 weeks. And so we came back and we had 2 more calls with the senior coach pulled in. So I'm really interested to see how this thing went from here to a coach to a stall to a senior coach to a second call with a senior coach, which never happens. Our senior coach is not big on like
being
2
on sales
calls.
calls.
Well, yeah, no. He's very, very much into that. He's just like, if we don't know at this point, if I'm the 4th call and I'm coming in, there's probably need to be 2 senior sales calls, right? So that's got my mind kind of like, how would he get on 2 sales calls when it's the 4th and 5th call?
I mean,
so I'm gonna watch those today. I'm really interested in that.
I wonder if it's just like a mindset orientation.
Could be. The first one was more like coaching them, and then the second one was more like locking things in. Could be. Yeah.
Interesting, right? Or just that idea of, this was the trick that I learned through my sales coaching. I was in Sandler for 8 years, right? I was going to buy my coach's business, and the negative reverse and the negative psychology is kind of used like a catch-all silver bullet over in Sandler by some of the lower level like practitioners and teachers there. But like if that's your orientation, hey, if we've been here for 4 calls and we haven't figured it out yet, we're probably not going to. Fair. Well, we really want to work with you. Okay, then I'm down for that, but you got to tell me what it needs to look like.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And being that kind of stalwart, stoic kind of person, and showing people the exit, which is kind of like how I refer to it now. Hey, there's an exit lane over there. Do you want to get off? No, I don't want to get off. Okay, cool. Now we can go someplace together. Right. Like there is an element to that, and maybe he's doing it from that side of you. I have no idea, but sounds like a C. Man, 4 calls. We've not closed it yet. Probably doesn't make a lot of sense. Like it sounds like something very similar to what I would do.
That's a good point. I'm gonna keep my eye out for that.
Yeah, type them when you're listening to the call. That'll be curious to see.
Okay. Yeah, that's all right. What about you?
So I have sales practice lab today in about 2 hours. I'm excited for that. Let's see, what else do I have today? I think I have a podcast interview. I'm going to be guesting, I think, on a podcast. This might be the warm-up call to check the vibe for the podcast. I'm not exactly sure. I need to check that. I have a call with Mike Ryan today. No dad joke in the comments. I'm a little sad. I hope he's okay.
Oh man.
Let's see. And then after that, I have a meeting with my automations and ClickUp coach. So some of my automations are not firing right now, so I need to go fix that. And then also continuing to kind of build and ClickUp the way that it needs to be. And then I have a lunch club call. I had a great lunch club call yesterday. I'll talk about that in a second. And then I've got that same sales call that I talked about last week. Thursday night sales is running again tonight, and it starts at 7. So that's normally during my decompression, trying to transition from like work
Yeah.
John into like dad John,
Yeah.
and it kind of left me in a bit of a unique headspace last week. So I don't know if that was a one-off. I don't know if I should like not go because I don't want to be in that same space again. Maybe like I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure that I'm gonna check it out and attend. I might just skip.
Yeah.
Not sure yet. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah. I, I obviously this isn't for family people a lot of times, but like those calls that happen on Thursdays and Fridays and sometimes Saturday nights between 6 and 9 p.m.
Hmm.
When it's like that is just like prime family time. And so
Yeah.
there are definitely ones I like, for example, our guest, right? It was 8 o'clock or 8 o'clock on Friday nights, Club Link.
Hmm.
I would love to check that out more often, but I'm just Friday at 8. I'm right in the middle of
Oh
kid
yeah.
time. So it's just season's alive.
Yeah. Like I love that people are doing programming at like, in community stuff and events at like all times of the day because, especially salespeople, we have the worst schedules on the
Mhm.
planet. Like if you want to book time with me in the next 3 days, good luck. Like
Mhm.
it's just difficult to do. But
Mhm.
like 5 days couldn't be more open,
Right. Yep.
and that's different compared to like how most people like
Mhm.
have to run their calendars and have to run their days and things like that. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's a big change. But I love this, and I'm with you. Like I try to not do calls. Well, okay, so my standard um, operandus, what is that? Mo, yeah,
Yeah.
modus operandum,
Modus
is
operandi.
no work on the weekends. Now,
Mhm.
sometimes like I just want to work, right? Because
Yeah.
like I feel like there's work, and then there's like work that is enriching, right? So like I don't ever spend time on like a Saturday just like inputting my notes and like making sure my log is reflective of my calendar and stuff like that. But I will sit down and I'll write, or
Yeah.
I'll work on like a CRM project or something like that because like that it's enjoyable to
Enjoyable.
me.
Exactly.
Yeah. So but I don't do calls normally on the weekends. So,
Yeah.
like I'll have a call with you, I'll go for a walk with you or something like that. But normally it's my recharge time.
Mhm.
I'm actually gonna go or not go because he doesn't live here anymore, but Levi and I are having a call on Saturday, which
Oh,
I'm
sweet.
super excited to because now
Yeah.
he's working for somebody. I don't know exactly what he's selling, but he's in the BDR role, right? So he's grinding it out, doing lots of cold calling, setting appointments and stuff like that. So like, you're not gonna have a whole lot of time during the week. So
That's right.
when do you make the time, or do you at all?
Yeah.
So
Very
yeah,
true. Very true. Schedules are funny things.
schedules are funny things, and they're very different, and that's okay. So,
Mhm. Yep. Cool.
but
Well,
yeah, that's all
tomorrow,
I got for today.
yeah,
Tomorrow we
tomorrow's a
have a
big day.
guest. We have a guest, guys. Like mental health and self-care are important things for everybody. They are just as important for entrepreneurs and salespeople. And there's this kind of like weird idea that salespeople are so resilient that they don't have any struggles with mental health or rejection or things like that. And that's just wrong. Like it's
Right.
just not
Totally.
true, you know.
Yeah.
And people who think that are actually doing like a discredit. They're actually reinforcing like the stigma that salespeople are fundamentally different than regular humans, and that they're not going to have these issues. It's just not true. So tomorrow we're going to have Jeff Risley on the show, and he talks about healthy mind and healthy revenue, like which is just like a beautiful way to talk about it. Because if your mind is not right when it comes to this stuff, what are you doing here, dude?
Hey, keep going. I'm just trying to figure out how to feature like a Stream Tornado does.
Oh,
You know
okay.
how he'll put the screen in? Oh, I knew what I did wrong. That's right. I got see now I know how to do it for next time.
Okay,
So
well,
I
good.
share a file instead of a screen. So
Oh, interesting. Okay.
yeah.
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 So it's just important, right? Because things like recency bias, things like questioning yourself, because you can do, and I talk about this, I think a lot, but you can do everything right. You can have the advantages, you can have the features and benefits that they're looking for, you can have the pricing, and sometimes you can do it all right and still not get a deal
Yep.
because of politics, because of other things, and that sucks, right? And so if you think that you did everything right and you don't get the deal, aren't you going to try to do things a little bit differently to make sure you get that deal next time when it's tied to your ability to eat and earn and keep a job? It's
Yeah.
it's a hard thing to fight at times.
I'll be interested because that's the big one that most of us think of is when it's tied to your well-being essentially in your family.
Mhm.
There's a lot that goes with that, but there's a lot of ancillary stuff too that
Oh my God,
contributes
man.
to how you feel in that moment that
Yeah.
stems from a whole bunch of other things you've been holding up,
Yep.
so yeah, it should be a great conversation. So I'm really looking forward to meeting Jeff and learning more about what he's got going on with his association and just his personal stuff, that how he deals with stuff. So it should
Yeah,
be fun.
it's gonna be a very cool conversation. I'm excited.
Cool. All right. Well, all set. You set for today?
I'm set for today. The easy day.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Michelle. It's gonna be rad. You're gonna dig it, I think.
All right. Cool. Well, we will pack it up then and see everyone tomorrow morning at 7:30. And
Absolutely.
invite a friend because this is an important topic. And we'll see you then.
Absolutely.
See you, Bill.
Cheers, Bill.